Hey, P-test takers, just wanted to leave you an announcement here for April 23rd. A couple of things I wanted to go over. First off, I put a message here in Google Classroom and also emailed many of you. This is in regards to those that have not updated your email in the AP Classroom site. You need to update your email with a personal email, one that's not connected to the school or your learns, because things that are coming from the AP College Board might not get to you if you're still using your learns account. So you're going to have to get into the AP site and follow the instructions. There's a video instruction by Ms. Clement that will show you how to update that email. And then you'll start getting regular emails to help you basically prepare for the test. One of the things that you can do, and I'm just kind of going over here from, this is from today's AP lesson on changing social hierarchies. In the beginning of the video, though, they discuss free practice that is ready for you now that you could find in AP Classroom and how you could find it. So if you go to about the 3-minute mark there on the video, around about the third minute or so, the instructor will show you how to access a number of practice DBQs that you can work on at your own pace. Ideally, what you should do is practice like you're going to take the test. Give yourself 45 minutes with your notes aside. Maybe if you've really worked on, I think that they have it set up by unit. So let's say you did unit 1 homework or notes and note taking, and you're all prepped and ready for that, and you've studied it. Go on to the AP Classroom site, find the DBQ for unit 1, open it up, and see if you could take go ahead and take it. Practice writing it out, typing it out, however you plan on taking the test, and submitting it, and of course putting yourself under that time constraint. 45 minutes to write the essay, 5 minutes to submit the essay. So roughly 50 minutes to get everything written and turned in. But that will be explained to you again about the 3rd minute of the instruction. As far as the assignment for today, it's already up there in Google Classroom. Make your parents proud. Tell them what you learned about social classes around the 1500s to the 1700s. I'm sure they'll be very impressed. I will. And the video will go along with this, but essentially they start off with a warm-up activity. There's 2 documents. You're going to read both documents, taking notes as to, of course, the social class structure. And what you're going to do is find similarities in the 2 documents, comparing how these social class structures are similar. And that's kind of where your answer will go, finding similarities from the 2 documents. The second activity is to continue to watch the video and look at the information and take notes on the social hierarchies from 1450 to 1750. The social structures, for example, the Ottoman Empire, they discuss the Janissary Corps. Of course, that's one example of the Ottoman Empire. That's kind of a very important example, but you might want to go back to the book, go back to some of your notes, and check out a little bit more on the social class structure of the Ottoman Empire. Ethnic differences in the Qing China. Remember, in China, the ruling dynasty, the Qing dynasty, they were actually not Chinese. They were from Manchuria. Yet they kind of are able to rule, and they actually do things as rulers that were very much like the Chinese dynasties did. In fact, even emphasized things like Confucian exam systems even more. Changing nobility in in Europe. Remember, after the plague, Renaissance, the increased economic activity, especially in Western Europe, had led for a changing in social class structures. Serfdom became less important, changed all the society. The wealth that increased also changed the power of the kings in relation to the church in this particular time period. They take some examples from the boyars and the serfs in the Americas, and then the caste system in the Americas is discussed. And then that activity goes along with activity 3. There's a set of about 5 different claims, and you're just kind of brainstorming here what facts go along with those claims that would make them evidence. Remember, fact's just a fact if it doesn't support a claim. You could state a fact, but you won't get evidence points for it. If you, in fact, tie that fact to a claim, then it becomes evidence. And in this essay, you could bring in 2 pieces, facts, tie it to the prompt or your thesis statement, and those are 2 points you could get for the AP test. So using claims, supporting claims with historical evidence, that's going to be practiced right here, going back to the notes. And then finally, you're going back to the DBQ from the beginning of the week on the Portuguese. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped a little section here. Document, you have a document above here. The Mughal ruler Akbar's approach to religious diversity, how is it similar to the Ottoman Empire? So discussing the Ottoman Empire, quite a bit in the lecture. This is a document that has some information how the Mughal ruler emperor ruled in India. How was it similar to how the Ottomans governed or ruled? All right. Oh, and then this is it. Getting to the Portuguese transformed the Indian Ocean Basin. Is there 2 pieces of outside evidence that you could provide to answer the prompt? Again, practicing that idea that you bring in, you have your claims from what you made in this particular DBQ. What pieces of outside evidence? They can't be related to the documents that were in the essay. It has to be an outside piece of evidence that would support your thesis or claim. Now, I don't know what that could be because I don't know specifically what you put in your thesis or claim, but let's say you might discuss how the Portuguese had limited their influence in the Indian Ocean Basin. Perhaps you might bring up how the Chinese in the previous century with the voyages of Song He, how he controlled the entire Indian Ocean Basin with massive ships that would sail into all these ports, and the people of the different regions would come and pay homage to him, give him gifts, because they wanted to be in the good graces of the Chinese emperor, and they knew he had those connections. So when he went back, those people would be able to, of East Africa, of India, would be able to keep trading with the Chinese. When the Portuguese land in India in the beginning, they have nothing to trade and nothing anybody wants. They're almost laughed at, and they're actually very reluctantly given the opportunity to do any trade in the port of Calcutta. So that would be a piece of outside evidence showing that they had very limited influence, especially in the early going. Okay, but that's all I have to say. I know you got a lot to watch there, and I also put a video on there for Mankind's Story of Us. It's kind of right around this time period. Columbus voyage, conquest in the Americas, a few other things that kind of go along with that video. Videos are a good way to watch and review things, and definitely though, make sure you could get into the AP site and you could access those DBQs. If you're able to access those DBQs, that means you're in good shape, and they're going, and you're getting your emails from them, because pretty soon they're going to have an actual practice test. All right. Well, I'm going to sign off here. Have a good evening. Make sure you are keeping up with everything that's going along with the AP's work, and also that if you're on the list there of students, I put it in your student number. So you know your student number. If you're on that list, that means that you haven't updated your email, and that's something you need to do. Use your private email so the AP College Board can email you directly. Okay, all right, have a good evening.